Joined on the broadcast by James Gallo, behind the mic, voice of the Moose Jaw Warriors, off to a good start this season. James, was this expected? I know it's been a while since the Warriors have gone on a deep run. What's the mood like there?
It's pretty exciting in the city. To answer your first question, no one's going to say they expected to be off to a great start, but this is a season where the Warriors were expected to perform at a very high level. Reason being is a couple of years ago in the WHL Bantam draft and throughout the past couple of years, they identified their 1998 born players, so they're 19-year-olds, and that's what they've been building around. And throughout the course of the past couple of seasons have been surrounding those 1998 players with some very good hockey players. So it's expected, I think, for this team to have high expectations, and it's brought a lot of excitement here in the community.
Of course, big name on that team, Brett Howden, a first-round draft pick in the NHL by Tampa Bay, and would expect to be in the mix for Team Canada. Tell us about him.
Brett's a big guy. This is the place that he wanted to be. His older brother, Quentin Howden, was a 4-year Moose Jaw Warrior, and Brett came to Moose Jaw helping out at training camps and was a stick boy when he could get a chance. I remember Brett, when he was about 10 or 11 years old, would come and help me on the broadcast, as a matter of fact, doing stats. And this is where he wanted to be. If there's a guy that could put a logo on his heart, it would be a Moose Jaw Warrior heart on Brett's logo. He's a big power forward. He likes to get in the middle, drives the net pretty hard, great shot. He's got a great work ethic. And I think that, to me, is what you want from your captain or from your leader, is a guy who drives the bus in terms of work ethic. And that's what the Warriors get out of Brett Howden. And he's a very mature 19-year-old. He's got, again, a lot of high expectations on himself from Tampa. And when he's been around this team, this city for so long, he wants to do something his older brother has never done in Moose Jaw, and that's win an Ed Chanel Cup.
A number of other NHL drafted players on the Warriors: Noah Gregor of San Jose, Dmitry Zaitsev of Washington, a few others. Tell us about that group.
Noah Gregor, again, a very fast forward for the Warriors. Great shot. Was on a line with Dryden Hunt and Braden Point as a 17-year-old rookie a couple of years ago, and was the Eastern Conference nominee for Rookie of the Year. So this is a young man, again, who has a lot of talent. Dmitry Zaitsev, kind of a stay-at-home, rugged Russian defenseman. And as well, the Warriors have Oleg Sosunov, who was a 6th-round pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning a couple of years ago, the same year that Brett Howden went in the first round to Tampa Bay. And Oleg is signed by Tampa Bay, and this is, again, a young man who's big. It's 6'8.5" and 235. And you never know what you're going to get with an import defenseman, and he's been a huge bonus to this team. He's just logged a lot of minutes. He's done a great job on the back end. Josh Brook was a 2nd-rounder of the Montreal Canadiens back in June of 2017. Hasn't played yet this season, sustained a wrist injury at Montreal's training camp, but he's getting close, and I think that's what fans want to see from Josh, because he, again, is a guy who logs a lot of minutes, has been working extremely hard to get back on the ice. He had a really good offseason, spent a lot of time at Montreal preparing for this season. So the Warriors have a lot of good players, a lot of good drafted players that I'm sure a lot of NHL teams are watching this team closely.
And also a player coming up, one of the best names in junior hockey, I think, and potential first-rounder, Jett Woo. Tell us about him.
I've described to some people here in the Western Hockey League, and fans out east might be familiar with the names, but he's a good mix between Morgan Rielly and a Matt Dumba when they played junior hockey. He's more towards a Matt Dumba, a very physical defenseman. I think Matt Dumba was a defenseman who thought a little more offense, whereas Jett comes back a little bit more. He's 17 years old, and we've talked about this a lot, is the fact that he's a mature 17, and he was a mature 16 last year when he came into the league. And what I mean by that is, with the minutes that he played and the stress minutes that he played as well, and how composed he was on the ice, you forget that he's just 17 years old. And he's been forced into a leadership role because he plays so much on the back end. Big, physical, sturdy, smart, makes a good solid first pass out of the zone. Jett, and along with Luca Burzan and Chase Harchie, have a lot of NHL scouts following the Moose Jaw Warriors so far this season.
You've been involved with the Warriors for a long time, if not directly the entire time. Tell us some of the best names you've seen come through there.
Best names like Jett Woo or actual players?
As in actual players, although it sounds like Woo is going to be both.
I have no problem saying that Braden Point has probably been the best Moose Jaw Warrior that I've seen in the last 18 years. Theo Fleury he's a legend here in this town. He holds all major offensive records for the Warriors. He was just an amazing junior player back in his time. But for me, Braden Point, he played in an era where defense was tough. He played on a Warrior team for 3 years where they weren't very good. And at 16 years old, he was getting double shifted in the top 6. And he was an amazing player to watch playing junior hockey. Morgan Rielly, again, I don't think I've seen anybody skate as well as Morgan. A fantastic individual off the ice as well. Kyle Brodziak, great player now with the St. Louis Blues. Troy Brouwer, Travis Hamonic. Travis Hamonic, you want to talk about a gamer. Same thing with Troy Brouwer. I remember Troy Brouwer getting an injury in the second round of the playoffs in Game 1, and he was back in Game 7 and was basically on one leg and helped this team get to their first and only WHL appearance in the final. Those are some really good names that have gone and have some great careers. A long list, like Johnny Boychuk, Brian Sotheby. Really good players have walked through their doors, and that's only the players that I've had the privilege to get to know and watch over the course of the past couple of seasons. Getting to know Ryan Smith a little bit more, and Mike Keane, Kelly Buckberger. There's been a lot of great names that have played here at Moose Jaw, and they have a lot of pride and a lot of guys that come back. Talking to Ryan Smith, he's always proud of the fact that he's a Moose Jaw Warrior. Theo Fleury says the same thing, comes back year after year for the golf tournament to help raise money for the education fund. And Theo Fleury is the first one to say that coming back and supporting the education fund is one of the most important things for him, because it's helping players who can't live their NHL dreams, but they become successful in life. And seeing young men turn into outstanding individuals off the ice is probably the biggest privilege that I've had. But hockey-wise, probably guys like Point and Riley and all the other guys that I've listed have just been truly amazing to watch. It's been a privilege for me to be around this team for this long.
We thank you for telling us all about it in Moose Jaw. James, best of luck to you and the Warriors this season.
Thanks a lot. Hopefully maybe we'll see you down the road in May.
Hey, you never know. That is James Gallo, the voice of the Moose Jaw Warriors, joining us on the broadcast. You're listening to Carstar, Cape Breton Screaming Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.